Reading is the fundamental. Reading is like, it's a life skill. Like how, we need to learn social skills, swimming as a skill. Reading is a skill that you need to develop. 90% of a child's brain is developed by the time they're 2 years of age. Yes. In fact, for communication, we speak about listening, speaking, reading, and then comes writing.
Yeah.
But in our education system, unfortunately, it's listening, speaking. As soon as the child is able to speak, we just send them to school at 3 to 3.5 years without really knowing whether the child is ready to read. And this is the biggest reason that children have trouble learning.
Many parents say that my children doesn't sit for reading. So what would you tell them? Why do you believe physical books and library space are irreplaceable even in the digital age?
Oh, absolutely.
Because right now, like, everyone have a Kindle.
As a word, if the child has not listened to it, the child is going to be lost.
Yeah.
Do you want to use the washroom? If the child did not hear the word washroom, they're going to be lost. The one thing that I always tell parents is, stop comparison. Even in your own house, if you have multiple children, one child may be learning it quickly, another child may take time. So understand that every child is different, and parenting has to be a fun and joyful experience.
Hello viewers, welcome back to another inspiring episode, The Moment with Dr. Sandhya Ravi, the space where we talk about life, learning, growth and beautiful moment of human life, not only life and their potential too. Today's episode is truly special because we are speaking with someone who is shaping the future of our country, one little reader at a time. So my guest today is Gomathy Narayanan. She is a reading specialist, trained phonics instructor, storyteller, and founder of Little Story Station, founder of Early Readers Lab, creator of Little Story Station in YouTube, and co-founder of Book Trials, a beautiful children library in Chennai. Our mission is to ignite the love of reading in 1 million young readers. Our work has already touched thousands, over 2,500 children through reading and storytelling, 120 plus phonics students, 10,000 curated books for children, and 200 plus YouTube videos dedicated to reading aloud. But beyond the numbers, she is someone who connects with the child's imagination in the most magical way. So connecting with children is always beautiful, and she is literally doing a divine work, settling in like this conversation will be warm and it's going to be a lot of fun, insightful and emotional also, because each and who don't love children, correct? So especially for parents, educators and anyone who is passionate about our future generation. So this podcast is for you. Ms. Gomathy, welcome to Moment with Dr. Sandhya Ravi.
Thank you so much, Sandhya. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I want to start from your beginning, okay? So you lived abroad for 11 years, correct? Because anyone goes to abroad, they don't love to come back to India. And you were deeply influenced by the education, majorly the Montessori. What was the moment in your life that sparked this passion towards early literacy?
Thank you for asking that. As you rightly mentioned, I went to the US when I was 20. I went to the US to do my master's degree. As you know, like, you're homesick, and then you go land there. And there was this primary school that was adjacent to our university complex. And every day I would go to my university. I would see these children, no bags, no heavy bags on them. And they would just go love, and there were a lot of play time. They would spend a lot of time outside. So I used to observe that, right? All along I used to observe that, and I got intrigued to what is it that that they're doing here differently, that children are just loving to come. I didn't hear anyone crying to come to school and all that. And then I was comparing, to the scene of primary school and education here in India. And then I was like, something is different of what they are doing. So that got me curious into understanding how they approached education. And then I was introduced to Maria Montessori's methodology and how she was approaching. And the school specifically was a Montessori style school. So I started to learn more, understand more about it. So ever since then, I was intrigued. So about, I could say, since the time I was 2021, I was interested in early education, and that I wanted to do something different for our country, because I wanted to bring that, the joy of learning back here.
Wow, that's great.
Yes.
Because even we remember, like when students go for the LKG, they'll be only crying, oh God,
Correct.
I don't want. If that thing will be happy, because that also can create a lot of trauma in the child's
Yes.
brain and things like that.
Correct.
Yeah, so and that is such an artful beginning also. So being there, learning and bringing back to our home country. So the thought process is still something to be given an hats off to you. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah. So you say something very powerful, like 15 minutes a day of reading, allowed everything from birth to up till 5 years of age, correct? So that is going to literally do a lot of changes in creating an early reader, correct? Why is this window so crucial? Because you speak about from the day of birth to 5 years. So why it's so? Why not after 5?
So I'll answer that in a few parts.
Yeah.
Firstly, not just from birth, if it's possible, even when your child is in your womb.
Yeah.
Because as you know, be it Prahlad or be it all these mythological characters we talk about, Abhimanyu, they actually listened to what's happening outside the world when they were inside the womb, right, of the mother. So if you can start that early, nothing like it, right? And in fact, there is an incident that happened in my own life with my own child that gave me goosebumps and made me believe that learning starts even before the baby is born.
Yeah.
Okay, so so I would say start right from the get-go, right from the beginning. Why right from the beginning? Because and this is mind-blowing that 90% of a child's brain is developed by the time they're 2 years of age. Yes, so 90% is that's the crucial time. Everything you put in them in terms of their environment, what they listen to, what they touch, what they feel, helps in the neurons and building of the neural connections. Right, we have about trillion neural connections every minute that the child is forming, and so take advantage of that. By the time the child is 5 years of age, 90% of their brain development is done. Everything that we do from 5 years until our adulthood and until our death is only the 10%, right? So obviously then that gives the answer that why starting so early. The other thing is that if a child spends only 15 minutes a day just reading for fun, that research shows that it exposes children to 1.8 million words in a school year, right? In 365 days, it's 1.8 million words, and this contributes directly to their vocabulary building. Yes, and so in our, in fact, for communication, we speak about listening, speaking, reading, and then comes writing.
Yeah.
But in our education system, unfortunately, it's listening, speaking. As soon as the child is able to speak, we just send them to school at 3 to 3.5 years, and immediately they're given a pencil and a crayon and asked to write A, B, C, D, A for apple, B for boy. Without really knowing whether the child is ready to read. And this is the biggest reason that children have trouble learning, right? And I see a lot of children coming at grade 1, grade 2, sometimes even grade 5 children coming in and saying that they're still struggling to read, right? Because reading is the fundamental. Reading is like, it's a life skill. Like how we need to learn social skills, swimming as a skill, reading is a skill that you need to develop.
Fine.
Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Because as you said, like when we read books and things when the child is in the womb, that is completely different. Because even I felt the same, because my elder one, when she was in my womb, that time I was doing my graduation. And do you believe it or not, like maybe she was around 1.5 years something. Like we were in the native, and so my cousin brother, so was younger to me, he was not well. So what she did was, she took a cell from the remote and she was going and keeping it like, and I felt it like okay because she didn't at the time she was not even watching TV or mom. I was thinking like how did she know that she have to keep in the chest to check it? Yeah, then like I felt it like because during that my whole class will say like you have to pay fees 2 times because your kid is also learning inside your home, but you're only paying for you. This is not acceptable. We'll be telling to the management that you should get the fees for a kid also in the home. So when you said this, even I could connect. Yeah, that happens. Some of the other way like that goes inside them, the way the behavior and things like that also changes what they have learned and things like that.
And this is why I say that the last trimester especially for mothers is very important. How you feel, what you feel, how you your mindset is very important. And this is why traditionally in our Indian families they did the valakappu and all that to keep the mother happy, so that the child that you produce is also a happy
child. Yeah, thank you so much. So what happens inside your child brain during storytelling or reading aloud?
So a lot of powerful things happen. The first thing that happens is it kindles their imagination. Right, and imagination is the number one thing that a child needs, because every imagination. So when you read a book that says there's a castle, there is a a princess there, so in their mind they're building their own castle, and no two castles are the same, no two princess looks the same, right? So this is creating neural connections. These neural connections, so our brain cells, there are trillions of brain cells, but if it is not tapped, these neural connections are not formed. Right? So the more you read, the more imagination there is, and there's more neural connections that are forming. And the second thing is the vocabulary. Right? So you for example, you're reading a book and it says say resonance, for example. I'm just there taking a random word. If you go to the school and if the teacher says, do you resonate with me as a word, if the child has not listened to it, the child is going to be lost. Do you want to use the washroom? If the child did not hear the word washroom, they're going to be lost. Right? So reading helps in building their vocabulary. It helps in their understanding of the world better, and also helps in their reading much faster. So basically you have to help them read first, basically read to them, so that they're able to read, and then you expect them to learn on their own.
No, even like I remember like being a child like that time, like we used to read a lot of stories. Story books will be a lot, like Akbar and Birbal, Tenali Raman, and then even I remember like I used to go to library at that time, and there is a book called Nodi's Car. Okay. Then later that became a cartoon. Okay, so at the time first I read in book. So I got that picture from the book only, and the way like the thought process, sometimes I strongly feel it like I love fantasies, because fantasies makes us to think, always that gives me courage or a power to think the world, nothing is impossible, because when in a fantasy it's possible, why not in reality? Why don't we give it a try, that whether it happens or not, but trying is nothing wrong. And big thanks for the storybooks what people have written. And when you said the creation of imagination, that is literally magical for a person to understand the world better.
And truly when you read, there are the characters in the story is going to help them with dealing with their real life situations, be it bullying, be it sharing. If there's a loss, they're going to be able to learn to cope up with that. Everything around the world. You're going to school for the first time, right? Instead of giving them a lecture to the child of it'll be all right and all that, every child is going to have that anxiety, like the first day going to school. If you read stories to them of how some of these characters deal with their first day in school, they're going to, you don't have to teach them anything. They're going to learn, infer from the stories that they're reading.
So, and thank you so much for explaining, because from this we understand reading is not just an activity, it's all about connection. So connecting with social, connecting with yourself, connecting with your family, because there's also make a parenting time also with the children.
There's a lot of bonding time that happens. There's a lot of bonding.
Many parents say that my children doesn't sit for reading. So what would you tell them?
So, and that's something that many parents in my community, they come to me before they join, they say that, ma'am, my child will not sit in one place to read and all that, right? And I always tell them that there are a few things that you need to do. Firstly, are you reading at home? Yes, are you modeling the reading habit? Yes, if you don't read a book, if you don't pick a book and read, if your child is not seeing you read a book, they're not going to be drawn towards reading.
Yes.
Right? More and more children are now addicted to gadgets because they see their mothers, their fathers sitting and scrolling endlessly. So they think that that is what I need to do also. So if you replace your scrolling time with a reading time, as an adult, if you spend book reading, your child is going to inspire from that, from the get-go, right? From their, very like a toddler, like a baby, you need to do that. And secondly, when you want them to read, first you read to them, right? Even if they are not sitting and paying attention, if their children are strong listeners, they listen a lot. You've always seen, where two adults are speaking in the presence of a child, and that the child will go and repeat that somewhere to somebody. Like we've all seen, that happen. So children are constantly listening, they're constantly observing. So they don't listen to your words, they model you. Right? So, so when you're reading to them, they're going to be listening to everything that you're reading. So, whenever parents say, oh, my child will not sit and read, I tell them, read any which ways. Find a reading corner, like build a reading corner. Every child should have a reading corner in their house, which is inviting, which is very, very personalized for them. With their, favorite Barbie doll or toys, a dinosaur or their plush toys. There should be an inviting place, a corner, even if it is just a 2x2, 3x3 space, or even if it's a corner of a couch. Yes, have a reading corner, right? And have a reading time specifically dedicated for reading, where you and your child will bond, right? So, and it has to be a routine. It's not like, okay, 9 to 10 o'clock every day I'm reading. It should be a routine where, okay, as soon as my child comes back from school, they're going to finish their homework, or they'll wash and they'll eat their snacks, and then we're going to bond on a story. At bedtime we're going to bond on a story. Yes, bond through a story. And so that routine is very, very important. Yes, and read any which ways. Even if your child is not sitting with you during that reading time, create that it's a ritual that you're going to be doing. Like how you will get up in the morning, you will give them a bath, you will feed them, you will wear their uniform or whatnot. Create this as a ritual at bedtime. Yes, and slowly and steadily you will see that that the child will be able to read. And I also give a lot of tips and techniques on how to make reading interesting, right? Use voice modulation, use props, capes, anything that will intrigue the child to read.
Got it. Thank you so much. If a parent wants to start today, so what are the 3 tiny but powerful habits they can implement immediately to raise a reader? From today they want to start, after listening to a conversation or something like that, they are interested to do. What are the tiny habits you can share to them?
Sure. The first and the most important thing is fill their environment with books. Yes, so Maria Montessori says for every age of a child you should have 100 books. Access to 100 books. Now it's not possible for us to buy hundreds of books, and if it's possible, do it. But some parents may think that that's a lot, right? Have at least 10 to 20 books. That is at eye level, that is accessible for the child. Yes, so along with the toys that you have books also at their disposal. That's the very, very first thing that you need to do. Because if you don't fill their environment with books, then you're expecting them to read books. Not possible. No. I always ask parents that if you want your child to be good with painting, drawing, we fill their environment with colors, right? All kinds of colors, paints, color pencils, sketch pencils. We fill it with their environment, right? Fill their environment with these colors. But if you want them to read, we don't do a good job of, buying books for the children. So buy books first, and make the child pick their own books. Okay, but if you, so whenever I say, have a lot of books, parents immediately go and buy Panchatantra stories. They buy Jataka tales, bedtime stories, moral stories. And these are the books that I see many parents fill the child's environment with. Well, there's nothing wrong with doing that, but when you look at it from the child's perspective, the child is like, I'm already getting a lot of gyan from home. Don't do this, be kind, share your food, this and that. And all of these bedtime stories, the Panchatantra stories, all of them again give you more gyan.
Yeah.
And children then associate books with more gyan. So they associate reading with boring.
Yes.
So it is very important for you to pick picture books that has a character in it. There are a lot of pictures in it, and preferably very little words in them, so that the child is able to, looking at the pictures, they are able to create a story in their mind.
Yeah.
And so that's the first thing, right? So have books, may it be child-led, may it be child-led. Yeah, not forced upon them. Let the child pick the books that they want to read.
Yeah.
Yes, and build a reading routine, right?
Yeah.
Every day, spend about 15-20 minutes without distraction.
Yeah.
As parents, let's put our mobile phones, our iPads, our laptops away and spend 15 to 20 minutes without any distraction with the child.
Yeah, that is super great. I really love buying more books, and majorly the books have to be more picture and less words. And also having a reading corner, and very, very important, 15 minutes of reading aloud with your children.
Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing those mini habits, so that this is something easy any parent could implement for their children to become a reader.
And that is the amazing part of this. It's so simple, so easy, but because it is so easy, because it is so simple, parents fail to see the magic that this can create.
Yes.
They're like, is that it? Is that it? I'm like, first start with habit creation.
Yeah.
Habit creation is the first step, and then you will expect your child to read.
Yeah.
Reading cannot happen overnight. It has to be a habit that will lead naturally into reading as a skill.
Yeah. No, people think that if something amazing to happen, it should be complicated, but they forget always simple is something they follow. Only when that consistency happens, that is when the habit, that is when people will see success. They always miss this out. Not just parents or reading, it can be for
anybody,
anything. The pattern is same, but sometimes we miss out this pattern, and we go with more of a myth than identifying the truth.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is such amazing. This is one of my favorite questions, I can say. So what is the role of a parent and school? Because they both are different. Correct?
Yeah.
So parents' role versus the school roles in creating a reader in a child.
Okay. So children spend about 80% of their time at home until they are 5 years of age.
Yeah.
Right? And on the contrary, schools have a lot of children that they need to focus on. So as a parent, for you, this is your only child or one or two children at home, so you can play the pivotal role in creating the reading habit in children. There's a myth that school is going to take care of reading for my child.
Yeah.
But that's the biggest myth. There was a study done by ASER, and they did a research on over 700,000 children on grade 3, and they gave them the grade 2 books. And they found that only 1 in 5 children are able to read their previous year's textbook. So that evidently means that schools do not teach reading. Reading is not part of the curriculum. You would have seen this, that children are doing coloring, match the following and all that in pre-KG, LKG, their books are like that. Suddenly when they come to first grade, these questions, like there is a one flower, then there is one flower, then they'll ask them to count and write how many flowers. So it's all pictorial, right? Pictures and coloring and all that until they are in LKG, UKG. But suddenly when they come to first grade, that converts into, Sam has 5 chocolates, Sarah has 4 chocolates. How many total chocolates do they have? And I'm like, have you enabled the child to read? Yes, so schools do not enable children to read. Okay, they suddenly expect children to start to read when they are, in first grade.
First grade.
Okay, so hence it's a very, very important role as parents you need to play to help your child read. And a child is ready to read, psychologically they are ready to read at only 3 years of age. 3 to 3.5 years. Every child is different, every child is unique, but they're ready to read at about 3.5 years. Yes, so start to read from womb, but start to build the habit of reading very diligently from about 3 to 3.5 years, and surely in about 6 months or 7 months you will see that your child will start to read.
Wow.
Yes, and so it is built as a consistent habit. So when I ask parents, how often do you read, they say, I read, ma'am. How often do you read? Yeah, whenever I have time. When is that whenever I have time? Maybe once in a month, twice in a month. Well, that's not reading habit.
Yeah.
Yes, reading is reading every single day for at least 15 minutes a day. And, initially your child is not going to be able to read. You have to read to them, read with them, right? And so that they can hear all these words, and then slowly you build on it. Yeah. So, so that is one, right? So buying them books, or the other thing that they can do is enroll into a library membership. Like I said, you cannot have access to hundreds of books at home.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not practically possible. So, enroll your child into a library, right, where there's a lot of books, and give them a variety of books. There are board books, there are cloth books, lift the flap books. There are multiple varieties of books. So make reading interesting for them.
Yeah. Even I remember during my childhood days, there was this book, like when you open, the castle will come.
Correct.
When you open, the kids will be standing.
Yes.
Yeah, I forgot what is it's called.
It's called the lift the flap books. So sometimes it's like a small information that you lift it and you'll be able to see it. But these are also interactive books, right?
Yeah.
And sound books, board books. There are multiple varieties.
Correct. At home, like we have sound books. Like we have the talking pen. Like once you keep, the pen will start reading out for the kid.
Yeah, I won't suggest all that. I wouldn't suggest using technology at until they're in their about 8-9 years of age.
Okay.
I would prefer human interaction for early years. Right. So do not bring in technology. And that is the biggest problem that parents do, right? In fact, hundreds of parents, this is a pure coming from pure lack of awareness, right? The parents think, okay, I'm playing a Peppa Pig, I'm playing rhymes, I'm playing ABCD for the child. My child is learning in YouTube, through these YouTube channels, through these rhymes. But what it actually does is it deprives the child of human interaction. It deprives the child of speech. So you will see in these children there's a lot of speech delay. So never replace human interaction with technology until your child is at least about 3.5 to 4 years of age. In fact, I would suggest zero screen time, zero mobile phone, zero YouTube videos until a child is about 3.5 years. So children learn a lot, and sometimes parents think, oh, if my child is moving about, not doing anything, they are bored. Parents immediately have this urge of going and doing something with them, right? And hence they say, okay, let's watch a mobile phone, let's watch a rhymes, let's watch a story on YouTube, right? In the in the name of filling their time with more activities or more engagement. But it's okay for the child to be bored. It's okay for the child to be all by themselves, all alone. In Tamil they say summa iru. We are trying to make that practice for adults, right? To bring back your own intelligence, stillness. Yes. So it's okay for the child to be bored, to be on their own. And the other thing that you can do to fill their environment is also give them open-ended toys. Instead of giving them YouTube videos and things like that, give them open-ended toys
where they can sit and work on those toys.
Legos, tangrams, magnetic tiles. Give them a pattern and ask them to recreate the pattern. ask them to create a house with a Lego, bricks. So this is going to help them building something, and every time they build a house, it will be different.
Correct.
Every time you build a park, it's going to be different.
Yeah.
Right?
And also it's going to help them in their motor skills too.
Fine motor, cross motor skills also gets developed. And there's a lot of imagination that's going along the way.
Sure. Thank you so much.
And we were talking about the role of a school, right? Right now, like I shared earlier, reading is not part of the curriculum. Yes, and there's a lot that is getting fixed by the NEP policy. Reading is becoming part of the curriculum and all that. But until that becomes, part of the DNA in schools, one thing I request from schools is to include reading time as part of their everyday time, right? Have a circle time where you can read a book and have children share their thoughts about books. Yes, and also see if there is some kind of book club that you can encourage, or have some kind of a reading challenge that you can bring in schools, where you will say, okay, if you read books every day, that 30-day, you get a badge or something. So gamify it, make it interesting for children, at least for the sake of winning a trophy or a badge. Children are going to start to read. Yes, and we should also have libraries in every classroom, right? Not in a school, but in a classroom, in a nursery classroom. See if there is, if you can set up a reading corner and a library corner where children can go and access it. It should be reachable, hand distance reachable for the children. So this will, create reading as part of their DNA.
Wow.
As part of their environment.
That is an amazing, and also I think so every house also can have this. Already you said having a reader corner at home also will be a great choice and option, and we also can be an example with children. And maybe now after talking to you, I feel it so why don't I think that after going to my village to have a habit weekly one reading session with the kids who are there, interacting with them would be great choice or option to be done and things like that. Along with that, my kids also may come, so they also will enjoy doing as a group session of reading.
Absolutely. In fact, way back about 8-9 years ago, when my child was about a 3-year-old, I started this as a reading club. I started a club so that because at that time, this is about 8-9 years ago, there were not too many libraries, there were not too many books that were accessible for my child. And in the interest of wanting more books for my child as an option and choice, I said, why don't we start a small book club, right? So we brought all children, in the society, in the community together, and we just said, we'll exchange books. Every Saturday, you bring one book, and we lay all the book on the floor, and then children get a choice to exchange the books. It started as simple as that. Right, and then it became a movement, and then that's how Little Story Station was formed, because I saw that children were interested in picking different books, but then oftentimes they were lost on how do I use the book. For the sake of looking at the pictures, they wanted to look at the picture. They were interested in listening to stories, but then from listening to story, from picking up the book, the next natural step is for them to read. So then you get to go to school, right? So then there is a gap. There's a gap where children are not able to understand how to use the books that they have to actually develop the habit of reading. That's when I said, okay, this gap needs to be filled, and that's how Little Story Station was formed, where I said I would read books to them so they can listen to the stories. Instead of listening to a story from imagination perspective, listening to reading a story, and then they can imagine whatever they want to imagine in their head that somebody is reading to them.
That's beautifully said. I think so. Parents or teachers, someone who really working in a nursery school or something, maybe taking notes when they are listening to the conversation. I think because there are teachers who really love to do a lot for the children also. For sure. They may talk to the management or something, or they may take this decision. That would be really helpful to the management, and also it will be a win-win for all.
Yes, and I see that there is a gap there, because I'm also, as part of teaching children directly, I also have a teacher training program where parents, teachers, primary school teachers come in and get trained. And when I give these as tips on how to bond with children, some of them say that I had no idea that these will help in actually developing a reading habit.
Yeah.
Yes, so a lot of teachers tell me that this has benefited them to increase their children, in the classroom. The engagement with children has increased. Their reading skills have increased.
Wow, that's great. Yeah. So you have curated over like 10,000 plus books. If you had to guide parent, what should they choose for age between 0 to 2? I'm talking about the books, what they have to choose. And ages 3 to 5 and above 5 years.
Sure. So before I give you any book recommendation, I would tell you what kinds of books you should read to them.
Yeah.
If your child is 0 to 2 years, get books that are cloth books. And experiential books. Like nowadays there is a lot of busy books, so that's also good, right? So get these kind of books. Get books where you will touch and feel books. So if you touch textures, so basically you touch a bee and there's a soft texture on that. If it's a cow, there's a harder structure or a texture on that.
Yeah.
So get these touch and feel books. Okay, and then if you're reading to babies from 0 to 0 month, I mean from birth to about 3-4 months, get them a lot of black and white books. So this will help in their eyesight, their interaction with the world. The colors and all that develop a little later, but the black and white will stand out for them. Okay, and keep simple pattern wise books, right? So you can do all that, right? So that's for the young babies. So in terms of the texture of book, there are crinkle sound that you hear when you touch a book and all that. There are bath books. So even bath time can be fun reading time. So resort to these kind of books when your child is in the babies, in the toddler or in the infant stage to toddler age, right? And then when you go to go from 1.5 years to 2-3 years, then have a lot of picture books, right? Pictures and just picture is okay, even without any words. We call it the pictureless books. So wordless books, we call it the wordless books, we call it the wordless books. So you can also resort to wordless books, right? And let the child come up with their own stories. Yeah, so start with that, and and again have big pictures, colorful pictures, and then slowly then build on that. Then about 3.5-4 years to 5-6 years, there should be a storyline. There should be a hero of the story. There's a problem that they're solving, and then there's a solution in the story.
Fine.
Yeah, it could be that.
Yeah.
Yes, and so this is the kind of pattern that you could follow in terms of the kinds of books that you will read. Now, when it comes to the stories per se, there are plenty of amazing authors, amazing books that are available. For 0 to 2 year olds, I would recommend any stories by Eric Carle. Eric Carle is a beautiful author. A Very Hungry Caterpillar, for example, is a story that is very close to my heart. So it talks about not just a caterpillar. It talks about different fruits, kinds of fruits and food that is available. Talks about metamorphosis, like how a butterfly or caterpillar becomes a butterfly in like 2 weeks time. It talks about days of the week. It talks about counting. So everything in one book, right? So that's Brown Bear is another wonderful book. So pick books that has a lot of rhyme, repetition.
Got it.
Yeah. So for example, this book that says Brown Bear, what do you see? Every page it ends with what do you see? What do you see? What do you see? So there's a lot of repetition, right? So that's that. Then you can look at books from authors like Peter Horowitz. You can look at Julia Donaldson's books. So there are plenty of books. In fact, there's if you go to my Little Story station, there are playlists called Parenting Corner, Parent Corner, and inside I have book recommendations for 0 to 2 year olds, 2 to 4 years, 5+ years. So you just go and take a look at those videos, and every video has about 10 to 12 book recommendations. So you can start from there.
Sure. That would be great for most of the parents, and even for teachers that would help them. I think so. If they are someone is running a daycare center, like someone is handling the nursery school children and things like
Definitely. And another thing is not just stop with story books. Also have real life pictures. Like for example, a book about bear, a book about an elephant. Real pictures, right? Not a cartoon picture in it. Real picture talking about the habitat of an elephant, talking about a habitat of a tiger, a lion, things like that. Talking about what is house, what is school, how does school look like. So we call it the non-fiction books. So also have such non-fiction books and introduce them to real life pictures.
Yes, that's great.
Yes.
So you're also a trained phonics instructor. So can you explain in simple words how phonics transform how a child read?
Sure. When we were young children, the way we read new words, if there was, say for example, happy, we said H-A-P-P-Y, H-A-P-P-Y, H-A-P-P-Y. We memorized it. We wrote it 10 times, 20 times until we got it. And then we went and just reproduced it in the exam, and somewhere we forgot about it. Right? So the children who remembered them, whose memory was better, were the ones that were doing well in school. Right? So it was dependent on somebody's memory and how well you were able to retain what you learned. This is called rote technique. Yes, this rote technique is actually not an effective technique. Now, a lot of native English-speaking countries like the Americas, the UK, the Australia, Canada, they've done a lot of research on what is the most effective way to help children. And what came out of the research is that systematic phonics is the most efficient and the effective way to teach children. Okay, so there are two ways to approach reading. One is through looking at a picture, like flashcards. Like, so you look at the word and you see it 10 times, 20 times, then you're able to read and. You're able to read with, you're able to read once upon a time, because every story starts with once upon a time. So you're seeing it multiple times and then you're able to read it. So these are called sight words, right? This is your right brain. This is the right brain activation. So through your right brain, you're able to read this. Whereas phonics is, talking about the sounds of words, sounds of spoken words, right? So if I'm saying, for example, if I'm saying a cat, so there are 3 sounds in a cat: k, a, t. There are 3 sounds in it. So a child should be able to differentiate that there are sounds in a word, and these sounds come together to create a word instead of letters. See, our method was, there were letters. So we said C is a letter, A is a letter, T is a letter. So you do C-A-T, cat. But the most easiest way is to, we are auditory learners first than, looking at the letters, right? So you say that there's a k, a, t. So then you put it together to read cat. Now, this is very, very fundamental for a child's development. Children are, this is part of their speech and part of their development. This is called as phonemic awareness. So a child is ready to understand the sound by the time they're about 2.5 years. So as parents at home, we should encourage phonemic awareness in children. We should encourage games that will enable them with the phonemic awareness, right? For example, you can say bat, ball, book, and say cat. What is the odd man out, right? So all the first 3 of them started with the sound b, 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 and then the last one started with the k, right? And they can clap it out. They could say b, a, t. Next time say k, a, t, right? If I'm saying, Gomathy, Gomathy, right? So they can clap out the sounds that they are hearing. Yes, so these will develop their phonemic awareness. Phonemic awareness is part of pre-reading skills. So a child does not go directly from speech to reading. in
Actually,
between.
now I remember this has been taught is when we are syllabifying, right?
Yes.
That is when I thought I remember.
Syllabification is part of,
Yeah.
syllabification is very much part of.
Yeah, so when
reading.
sometimes if I want to remember a very big word,
Yes.
experience. So it's how to break the
So it was
word.
loosely used, when we were
somewhere.
young children.
Yeah.
But even in the word experience, it's not experience. So there's a way you syllabify it, right? So it's a method through which you could break them as syllables. So that, so all that is part of advanced phonics. But when you're talking about creating the phonemic awareness, so these games could be there. You could sing rhymes to them, right? And then they develop the sense to read phonics, read through phonics, right? And then when even when you talk about phonics, the one thing that pains my heart is how phonics is taught the incorrect manner. Let me explain what I mean by that. So for example, mat. There are three sounds to it. There's at. But schools teach as ma, a, ta. So when you do a ma, a, ta, the child is saying ma, ta. They're lost. They don't know what it is. Right? And so it's very important. So phonics in the past, I think 4, 5, 6 years, phonics has taken a lot of popularity amongst early education, early years. But what we did not understand is the right way to teach. Okay, so what I request for anybody, caregiver or a teacher or a parent teaching to the child, please learn it the right way and teach them. Because if you're teaching them the incorrect way, you're again making them get frustrated, because they're like, oh, I know phonics, but I'm still not able to read. Many children come to me with that lack of confidence. See, confidence is like the soil. It's the basis over which everything is built. For adults, for kids, it's the same. Right? If your confidence is lost, then you are going to be not having the interest in reading. So if you don't know how to teach children phonics the right way, find an expert who can teach them the right way. But do not look at this YouTube channel, this Instagram reels and all that, because I have seen about a majority of people teach them the wrong way. And then you learn from the wrong source, and then you teach the wrong way, and the essence is lost.
And again, unlearning is also very difficult.
Exactly. That's exactly why I'm saying that it's very important, because if your child don't know, and then for them to learn it is easier than they learn the wrong way. You have to unlearn it and then relearn it. So it takes double the time. That's why I tell parents that start early. Start, reading as a practice for your child, right from birth, but start, actual reading as a skill to make them read. By the time they're about 3.5 years, start early. Do not wait until they go to first grade, second grade, third grade, because by that time they've learned the wrong way. So I have seen in my classrooms that a 3-year-old learns to read in just 3 weeks, whereas a 8 or 9-year-old takes about 2 to 3 months. Because there's a lot of unlearning, and there is also a lot of confusion, because they've learned it the wrong way. Now when we teach the right way, they're confused. Constantly they go back to the old methods of learning. So start young and start the right way. Teach them the right way.
Thank you so much. You have impacted over 2,500 children through reading and also storytelling. So is there one story, one child, and one moment that touched you deeply?
There are plenty moments that have touched me. Even during our break, I was talking about one child, that was not able to read until 9 years of age. But I'm going to share about this one child that truly made my mission, worth living, right? So there's this girl, about 6-year-old. Her name is, Lily, right? So Lily came to came to the community. Her mom was saying, my child cannot read. She's in second grade, and she's not able to read, and school is giving a lot of complaints, and so I took the child to the doctor. The doctor said my child has ADHD, and so we are taking medication, ma'am. For the past 6 months my child is taking medication, but even that medicine has not helped her. And as soon as I heard, that she's giving medicines for ADHD for 6 months, it broke my heart, and I was like, what made you think that your child has a problem, and why? And she said, because my child, cannot read. She's not sitting in one place. She's not, and then she gave a lot of a list of things, right? And the school is complaining. The school is saying that TC vaangi konga, take the TC. But I told them that I'll take her to the doctor, and in this 1 year we will fix it. And so she came to me because she said, I went to the doctor, it's not helping. This is the last resort. I don't know where else to go. Otherwise, my child will be expelled from school. So, and then I started to talk to the child, right? And I set up a one-on-one call with the child, and I asked her, what do you like to do? And she said, Auntie, I don't like to read. I mean, I'm not able to understand. Then I asked her, what else do you do? She said, I like to paint, I like to draw. And I asked her to bring those pictures. And I saw these were the most amazing, beautiful, drawings that she had, painted and had drawn. And she was very good with craft and all that. So obviously, if it was a child with ADHD, the child wouldn't have had the patience to sit and create such beautiful creations. So obviously, I knew right from the get-go that this was not anything to do with ADHD, right? So then I started to work with the child. I told the parent, stop medicine first, right? Give me about 2 months time. If I'm not able to make the child read, then you go to the doctor and do whatever the doctor asks you to do. And you won't believe me, Sandhya, if I told, none of the people listening to this will also believe if I said this, right? In 3 classes, I had taught her the fundamentals of reading. In the 4th class, she was reading One Fish, Two Fish, Blue Fish, Red Fish. It's a Dr. Suez's book. It's about a 44-page book. She read all by herself.
Oh God.
And I did not help her with reading. I did not support her with that, right? She was reading on her own. And this is a testament to the thing that, oftentimes as parents, we jump into conclusion that my child is ADHD, my child is this, my child is that. Children are, so every one of us fall in the autism spectrum. Every one of us fall in the
100%.
ADHD spectrum. Yeah, if you were to make your child, if you were to sit in one place for 1 hour, tell me how many percentage of us can sit there and just read a book or do something on our own without getting distracted by a mobile phone, notification on a mobile phone.
Not possible.
So why, you expect that from a child?
Yeah.
A child is supposed to be full of energy, supposed to be moving around, supposed to be doing all that. If they're not doing that, then, there's something wrong. You should be worried that your child is sitting in one place, not moving around, then you should be worried.
Correct.
Right? And there is a fine thin line between a child being active and being hyperactive and being hyperactive and distracted. Right? There's a very fine thin line. And so find a way to actually first engage your child. Engage your child with reading, and then if even after that your child is not able to sit in a place, you're not able to read, then seek professional help in terms of where is the problem coming from. Like if you see there are some early signs that you can look at, like a child is not making eye contact, child is not child is overly stimulated by loud sounds, external noises, disturbed by that, watching things swirling or things like that. These are some red flags that you can catch early on. But even if you go to doctors and they say your child has autism or ADHD or dyslexia, whatever, seek 2-3 other opinions, professional opinion, before you conclude and before you give them any medicines. Okay.
I have worked with special children for quite long time. So there is one story where I've listened, there is a parent, that kid was doing so good in football. When you're very hyperactive, you'll be doing very good with these games, okay? But then later, they went to doctor to reduce a little bit hyperactivity, but the thing is that made the child to come out of the football team. Then again the parents went and said, I'm okay my child to be this way, because that gave him a very big nudge in terms of football. So need not be everyone should be great in terms of academics or things like that. So for sure, even the special children or whatever things, they might be good in something else, because even I personally helped a girl who was dyslexia, and I got to understand. Initially, when I was there, I was training her for free, and then later, when I couldn't do that, I suggested her to someone else. Then I said, being a dyslexic, she was in an ICSE board. I said, and also she went to school so early. She started attending her LKG when she was in 3 and a half age. And I said, she's studying beyond her age.
Yeah. See,
When she
every
was
child develops differently,
Yeah.
right? And every child is unique.
Yes.
Children are born with a lot of genius in
Yeah.
them, right? It is up to the caregivers and parents and teachers to bring out the genius in them
Yeah.
and not to curb it, right?
Yeah.
And when you term it that your child is ADHD or dyslexic, I mean,
Yeah.
of course there are. We are not discounting, but by me saying this, I'm not discounting that there could be learning difficulties.
Yes.
But do not jump into conclusions, and
Yeah.
there are ways that you can help them to come out of that, right? And
Yeah.
early identification of that, early intervention helps you.
For
Right?
sure.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm telling. There's where I supported the parent and they tried whatever best possible. And I said, because she said, Mom, I'm finding it difficult. And I said, why don't you don't think about the prestige that she should study in an ICSE board. There's nothing wrong in getting her put into a state board, because their syllabus is much better compared to an ICSE board. Still, she can complete her curriculum and things like that. Then they listened to me and they changed the syllabus, and she was performing comparatively better than an ICSE board syllabus. And then she completed 10th grade also, and she was performing very good in Arabic, because she never missed her madrasa classes. So they were telling that is where her interest in. And currently she completed 10th grade and she is pursuing her education in Arabic, and she is doing super great in that. Then her mother called me and said, Mom, she completed her 10th grade. At the time she had, because the writing she had some difficulties through scribe and things like that, she completely passed her exams. And then she said, for Arabic she don't need any help. But actually, when it comes to school education system, there are 5 subjects. There are some subjects she was doing super great, some subjects. But only if you pass in all the subjects, you will be given the certificate, or else it will not be there. So then, now she is doing super amazing. If I was the one to get the first call after she passed the exam. So the things are very important thing is the support of the parents, because they understood. Because when we are saying also, they should be in a situation or an emotion to understand what the child is going through. It is not the fault. There is nothing wrong in sometimes underperforming in our education. That's not going to be the end of the life.
No, the one thing that I always tell parents is stop comparison. Right,
Yes.
your child is unique.
Yeah.
Every child is unique. Right, even in the same house, if you have siblings, do not compare them with a sibling. Do not compare them with their neighbors, their their friends, their schoolmates, because every child is different. Every child develops differently.
Correct.
The only
100%.
comparison, if at all any, you will do is your child's last month, last year, whether they are progressing from where they were last year and last month, right? And that's the only comparison that you will do to track your child's progress. But there is no value in comparing your child with other children.
So when we are talking about, even I remember, I think so, there is one movie also, Surya and Amalapala, small children's. They do a lot of naughtiness, so that they have been put into a hostel and things like that. So things happens also, but because the thing is if children don't make naughty, then they are not children in the first place. Because
a
they
child
don't have any
by
goals.
nature is full of energy, right? The problem with the current system is when we were growing up, we lived in joint family. So you had a tata party or an uncle, an aunt who lived in the house, and mothers didn't go to school. And mothers didn't go to office. Right, and so there was a lot of space for them to engage, and if not anything, we played with the sand and mud and played, created our own sand castle and things like that. Now we are living in urban jungles, right? So basically, a child is not surrounded by a lot of extended family.
Yes.
And because as parents we don't have the time or the patience to engage the child, it does not make the child a hyperactive child. Yeah, children need a lot of engagement, physical engagement, mental stimulation. So spend time with the children, spend time with your child to basically engage them. The more you engage them, the more you can channelize their energy.
Thank you so much for sharing that. You also co-founded Books Trail. That's a library. So why do you believe physical books and library space are irreplaceable, even in the digital age?
Oh, absolutely.
Because right now, like everyone have a Kindle.
No, absolutely. Books, at least at the very early years, physical books are irreplaceable. Yeah, you should never replace books with a Kindle or a story online on a laptop, right? Please do not do that. Why? Because when a child touches a book, there's a lot of connection the child makes when they're flipping the pages, when they're looking at real pictures. There's a connection that the child makes. Their imagination is kindled, right? And this also helps in their pre-reading skills. So basically, child needs to understand that there is words come together to form sentences, and letters come together to form words. Words come together to form sentences, and sentences are put together in a book, and that's a story. There's an author who writes a story. There's an illustrator who paints the pictures, right? All this is called print awareness. This is part of their pre-reading skills. Now, if you do not expose them to the physical books, you are actually depriving them of their pre-reading skills, their readiness to actually read.
Yeah.
Sometimes, parents tell me, but ma'am, if I give a book to my child is tearing it. Obviously, that is part of their exploration. Yes. So, let them, explore that. Yeah. And then you can tell them in a very gentle manner, show them how to use a book, how to turn the pages, how to respect the book, how to, read. In fact, when a parent and there's a lot of magic happens, bonding happens when the child is seated in a parent's lap. And the parent will run their finger under every word that they are reading. This is a very, very inevitable ritual that you need to do with your child to develop reading skill. Do not replace this for any reason with digital resources and Kindle, because this connection will never happen over a digital media.
Thank you so much. So parents today are busy, stressed, and overwhelmed as well, because right now, like still the competition is going, I could say. So what is the simplest way to create a reading culture at home despite this lifestyle? Because now the major problem is the lifestyle.
Yeah. So reading culture, I've already told you about setting up a reading corner and all that. That's part of the setting up the home environment.
Yeah.
In terms of
majorly,
the culture,
now in the question what I'm asking is the emotional fine-tuning or mindset of the parent. Because physically setting up is okay because they are overwhelmed, they are stressed, and things like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So in terms of creating that reading culture, looking at reading as a culture, first you need to come from a space of winding down for the day, right? Set aside your work. Many of us are working parents, and both parents working, etc. So there's always this running behind chores. If not office work, then there is a chore that you need to finish. So parenting is becoming a chore rather than a fun, joyful journey.
Correct.
Right? So take a breather, right? And relax. Firstly, parenting, every child is different. Every child will learn differently. Even in your own house, if you have multiple children, one child may be learning it quickly, another child may take time. So understand that every child is different, and parenting has to be a fun and joyful experience.
Yeah.
Okay, so enjoy the process, enjoy the journey, and spend a lot of time bonding with your children.
Yeah.
If that would mean right from the get-go, if that would mean having a pillow fight, having a tickle time at bedtime, Yes,
Yeah.
that will be a lot of therapy, not for the child, but more than the child for the
us.
adults, right?
Wow.
Yeah, and also have a circle time.
Yeah.
This works wonderful magic in my home, in my community also,
Yeah.
where we have a circle time at bedtime. Everybody in the family comes together and we talk about how was our day today. So
Okay.
you share how was your day, and then you say there's one thing that I appreciate about each of the person in the circle, and what is the one thing that you want that other person to improve or change. So this also gives a time for you to listen to your child's feedback about what is it that they appreciate of you, what is it that they want you to change. Yeah, my son, for example, one day he said, "Amma, do not give me I love that you're spending all this time with me, but you know what, every time you feed me you'll say one more mouth, one more mouth, one more mouth, and you'll give me many mouthfuls." I don't like that, right? So the innocence with which that children share,
Yeah.
so there is truth to it, right?
Yes,
they are very truthful in their feedback.
Yeah.
So
Sometimes for more love, sometimes we overfeed them.
correct. So then it helped me understand that I although I want to make sure that my child eats so much, but it's my child's tummy, he
Yeah.
knows more than me on how full he is,
Yeah.
right? So and many of us do that, no? As adults we say, I'll come to the other point there. So yeah, please have that time where you will bond like that, right? And when you receive this feedback from your child, make sure you work on it and show them that you've corrected that.
Yes.
When you do this, disciplining becomes so much more easier, because they see that, okay, I gave a feedback to Amma understood that and she changed. Now my mom is giving me a feedback, my dad is giving me a feedback, let me work on that. So it doesn't come as a criticism, it doesn't come as an advice, it comes as feedback.
Correct.
Yes, because our children, believe me, these Gen Alphas and Gen Zs, they are just developing at a rocket speed. They are much more aware of their environment, much more aware of, due to the exposure that they have in school and all that. They are very, very intelligent, they're very, very smart.
Yeah.
Right? They don't have to be told a lot of things, they observe a lot and they learn, right? So they need to see you as a support structure, a support system, support mechanism that they come to, and they should also you should build that trust with them. Yeah. When you work on the feedback, they automatically trust you.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. So you're on a mission to impact 1 million children, correct? So majorly children between like 3 to 9 years old. So what does this mission personally mean to you?
Thank you for asking this. Many times, so there was this time in my life where I was I used to live a very rhetorical life where I used to go to work, come back, and I used to look at like everybody else in the society. Majority of us live with a negative mindset. No, we look at the news channels, we look at all of that, and we look at what is missing in our life. So there's always something that is missing in my life, even though we have everything. We only look at that one thing that's missing. We start to compare with our neighbors, with our friends, with our whatnot, right? So this was a time when about 7-8 years ago, one of my school friends, she said, I'm starting and I have something in my mind where we want to do something for the society. And she was living in Nagpur at that time, and she said, we are packing food for the patients in the hospital, and we are delivering it. And would you like to do that in Chennai? For us, like let's start a group. And we started a group called Aatichudi. And this is a very non-profit organization where a lot of us friends come together, and we just do multiple things. One such thing that we do is we look at the patients or go to the patients in Adyar Cancer Institute in their general ward, patients in the general ward, and we give them fruits and packaged food like juice and all that. So we would do this every Saturday. One of these days where I went, I saw there was, so this was, and one of these days I went in, it was a Saturday, I was, giving fruits over, handing over to the patients. And there was this one lady that was very sick, and I handed over, and then these are cancer patients, right? They're going through the treatment. So I handed over the fruits and everything that I had in my hand. She received it, and immediately she threw fits. She entered into fits, and suddenly they brought in a makeshift room, and for next 2 minutes there was a lot of crying and hooing, and after 2 minutes there was silence. She passed away. 2 minutes back, 5 minutes back I was with her, I was touching her, and she was no more. This was a turning point in my life. That day I was thinking, this is it. This is life, between life and death. And it made me think, what am I doing with my life? What is it that's missing in my life that I'm so, looking at, focusing on the negative things? And I said, I want to, look at something that's larger than my life. My mentor tells me that everybody dies 2 times. Once when your mortal body leaves, and the second time is when the last person stops talking about you. Your word is taken for the last time. Now, I don't want to die 2 times. I only want to die once. And so when I was looking at how can I create that legacy, children and reading, and because I've been raising my child, and we fondly bond with books and stories, and I know the importance of reading right from the get-go, right? So I said, I need to create a legacy, right? There are multiple things that we can work on, but if I work on the future generation, this is going to live for multiple generations to come. So this is more than a mission for me. It's me creating a legacy. It is creating a future generation.
Yeah, thank you so much. If you want to convey your message in one word to every parents, educators, or caregivers listening right now to the podcast, so what will be that one word as a message?
One word.
Yeah.
Read.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So, what are the upcoming programs or initiative of the early reader labs that parents can be part of?
Sure. We constantly run programs where we have multiple levels of programs. So the first thing that parents can do is get into our the initial level program. So they get into a 6-week program where children, even if they don't know reading, if they don't know alphabets, sounds or phonics, they can start to read simple sentences like the cat sat on a mat, my pen is on a pant, or something like that, right? Simple sentences they can read in under 6 weeks. So that's the first level program, and then they can progress into reading about 90% of their text. It takes about 3 to 6 months to make a child a fluent reader, an independent reader. So they can get on that. The one thing that I'm doing right now is a program, a free reading program. So I was going to say our books instead of lost on a TV channel and serials and things like that, right? So we are doing a 7-day challenge where parents and children can join us on a free reading program from 8 to 8:20 every day. So you can find the information about that in maybe the description box somewhere.
Sure. I'll be sharing all the details and related to the program links in the description. And any parents or educator who would like to join the free reading program, it will be our honor to have you all in Ms. Gomathy's program. Thank you so much.
So it is my mission that 8 p.m. should be reading time and bonding time for families and children.
Sure. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And right now, we are going to be in the end of the session. So I have some rapid fire round for you.
Sure.
So So if I want to ask you one children reading book where every parent can read loud, one book, which book will you say?
Gruffalo.
Okay. So your favorite storytelling voice, is it animal, magical, or dramatic?
Animal, any day.
Fine. One book that changed your life. I know you are multiple, but if you want to pick one.
The Secret.
Oh wow. Fine. Phonics or sight words?
Phonics.
Okay.
Actually, I'd say both. Both.
Okay. So, most mischievous question a child has ever asked you during your reading session or during your storytelling session too?
So it depends on the story that I'm reading. So
Yeah.
I've read, stories, and the children ask, what if I come and bounce on you? What will you do? Yes.
Fine.
What if I pounce on you? What will you do?
Got it. Uh, a book you loved as a child.
Hansel and Gretel.
Okay. Your go-to energy booster before your reading. Is it coffee, uh, tea, or reading?
None. Playtime with my child.
Okay, great. So, one thing you wish a parent would stop doing while reading.
Say that again.
Parents can stop doing this activity while reading with their children.
Being distracted with the mobile phone right next to them.
Okay. If reading were an emotion, what would that be?
Happiness.
Fine. The funniest book title you have came across.
Funniest book title.
Just looking at the title which made you laugh out or something like that, just the title.
A book with no pictures.
Okay.
The title is not funny, but the book itself is funny.
Okay. So, if you could invite one author to come to your home for a dinner, whether dead or alive, who that author could be?
It need not be children's book, no?
It need not be any author. It's about like if you want to invite an author to come to your home for a dinner, they can be dead or alive, anyone.
James Clear.
Okay. So, storytelling indoors or under a tree? Which one do you prefer? Storytelling indoor or under a tree?
Under a tree.
One word to describe your mission of impacting 1 million young minds. If you want to say that in one word, what that word would be?
Building future.
Thank you so much. And there the question ends. And thank you so much for the conversation. This feels like a hug where it's very warm, grounding, and full of hope for the future generation. So your mission to raise readers is not just educational, it is nation building, future shaping, and to say from my heart, it's very heart touching too. So to every parents listening to the podcast, remember just 15 minutes of reading aloud with your children can make a lot of difference in your child's life. Because this can improve the imagination of your kid, their vocabulary, their emotional security, and more importantly, as Ms. Gomathy said, the confidence, which is the soil of your child, which is a foundation. So that's going to build amazingly and very, very important because we all work for the future of the children. So this is going to bring them a bright future to them. So if you want to explore Ms. Gomathy's work, follow her on Instagram, and also we'll be sharing all the links in our description, so you can go through it and you can get connected with Ms. Gomathy for your children. And even if you like more in reading also, I hope so, like you can connect with her. So thank you for joining us today, and until next time, the Movement with Dr. Sandhya Ravi podcast. This is Dr. Sandhya Ravi signing off, and thank you so much. And if you really love this podcast, please share, subscribe, and tag your friends in the comments so that they can also listen to this podcast. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.